Hi, everyone. I'm Melanie from Streamlined Legal, where we help law firms get the most out of their practice management software. Happy New Year. I'm so excited to be here tonight to talk to you about the new year and to talk to you about one of my favorite things to do in the new year, and that is evaluating your firm's technology. And I've done a video on this before, but I want to talk a little bit more in detail and invite you to an upcoming event. Clio is sponsoring a 4 or 5 part series that is all about evaluating and modernizing your law firm. And so it's, let's see, 4 part series that really digs in deep to see, what type of technology you should be using, how you should evaluate your technology, how to implement that technology. So it really takes you through the whole process. And so I'd invite you to hop on over to their website and register for that webinar. And in fact, I'll go ahead and put a link here in our notes of this video. But the first session is the one that I'm going to be doing, and that's evaluating key components of your tech-enabled law firm. And so we're going to be looking at both the things that you're doing now, the things that you want to do, the things that you should be doing, to try and make sure that we're being as diligent as we can be about technology, because as you all know, technology changes, things update. And so I have people that are asking me about this series and asking me some pretty specific questions that I wanted to answer here for you today. Before we jump in, the series starts, by the way, on Wednesday, January 6th. And so if you're ready for that, or you can catch the replay, I'm sure, online. But the questions I'm getting are things like, do I need to attend, or do I need to evaluate my technology? And so I wanted to answer that first off. I find a lot of firms, first of all, I think the answer is yes, you should definitely attend the webinar. But I find a lot of people, when it comes to evaluating the technology in their firm, they often don't give it a much of a thought until something goes wrong, right? So it's kind of like if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? But I think there's a lot of problems with that. I think that I find a lot of firms that either, number one, have too much technology, or have too little technology, or have technology that's not serving them well. So basically wasted technology, in my opinion. And then there's also the last option of firms that may not be innovating. And so, the question is, what's the cost of not innovating? If you feel like you are competing against the firm down the street, or the firm across town, or the firm, across the state, that's probably not true. You're actually competing against future firms, and firms that are still forming now, firms that are just getting started, firms that are looking at these things when you're not. And so I'd encourage you to not think of yourself as in a marketplace with your current existing firms, but also in a marketplace with firms that are just starting and just getting into these kind of technology advances. And so I want to make sure that even if your firm has been around for a while, that you're paying attention to that, and that you're not losing out to those firms that frankly don't even exist yet. And so I think that for those very reasons, I would highly encourage you to start looking at evaluating your technology and doing it on a regular basis. Because the second question I get asked is, how often should I be doing this? How often should I be looking at my technology? Change is not an easy thing. And so we don't necessarily want to be changing things every week or every month even. I would encourage you, if you're not actively evaluating and reviewing your technology right now, to maybe start doing it once a year. And once you start doing it once a year, and you're getting some good results, and you're seeing that the changes you are making as a result of that evaluation are being positive and really helping your firm, maybe you want to do it every 6 months. I wouldn't do it more than about once a quarter. If you start looking at it that often, and you're making changes all the time to improve, then you may not be giving your technology the time to give you the results that it can. And so a lot of times it takes some time to put technology into place and see it work for a certain period of time before you really know how well it's working for you. And so I'd say if you're doing it more often than a quarter, you might want to back off a little bit. But anywhere from a year to 6 months to a quarter, I think would be very appropriate. And I'd encourage you to do that. And then the last question that I get is, why now? I mean, why didn't we do this last month or last quarter? You could have, but if you haven't done it yet, I'd say the beginning of the year is a great time to start. I mean, it's a great time to plan. It's a great time to review budgets. It's a great time to, a lot of practice areas this time of year are still relatively slow. And so it may be a great opportunity for you to start digging in now. So, again, I'd invite you to join me for that Clio webinar. It's going to be on January 6th. And I'll put the link down here. And if you enjoy that first series, please do feel free to register for the rest of the series. There's some really great speakers. Mike Whalen's going to be speaking in the second session. And we've got some great consultants and attorneys talking about the things that they've done in their law firms to innovate and implement those new technologies. So do check it out. Thanks for joining me tonight and have a great evening.